Hey everybody, Daniel Ramsey here with MyOutDesk. We are the leading provider of real estate virtual assistants, and today we have somebody who's super fun, super cool. She's already telling a ton of jokes before we went live, and if you look at her bio, you understand why she's a successful real estate person. 32 years, Kendyl Young, digs, not digs real estate, not digs properties. It's just digs.
Just digs. Kind of like just share.
Right. Yes. If you're listening right now, please type in where you're from and what's your name. We're going to learn a lot today. Kendyl has basically been in real estate for 32 and a half years. It's a half. She's a part owner in RealVolve, which we're going to talk about. And she tells me that she's got an axe to grind. So we're going to dive in, and I love it. And guys, as we go, this is all about helping real estate people achieve the highest level they possibly can. We're interviewing people who have mastered the craft. Kendyl, thanks for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
So let's dive in. Tell us your story. You've been in real estate a long time. How did you get started, and why are you so passionate about it?
I got started because I'm essentially unemployable.
Yep. Hello.
Essentially unemployable. I was hired by Procter & Gamble straight out of college before I graduated, actually. And I hate a boss. I hate rules that don't make sense to me. I hate the daily report. I hate the politics. Actually, it's not true. I don't hate the politics. I don't understand the politics. I don't understand what makes a wage earner tick. All I get is, I'm here, the goal's there. How do I cross that divide in the best way possible and get the hell out of my way? So once I figured out that it wasn't the company, it was me. Now, I'm the problem, not you. It's not you, it's all me, all me. I quit corporate world and went into real estate because my mother is a real estate agent. And
Perfect.
How bad could it be? Right? So I gave myself a goal, 6 transactions or 6 months. One of the 2 was going to happen, and then I was going to quit. And so I sold 6 houses in the first 4 weeks and said, bye-bye.
Love it. Love
it.
it.
I mean, this sounds amazing, but this was back in the 80s. So,
What was happening in the 80s?
I think that it was an easier time back then. It's always scary to buy a house, but in Silicon Valley, in the mid to later 80s, 2 grunt level engineers could afford to buy a house in Silicon Valley.
Right.
Today, if you aren't the beneficiary of the IPO rainbow, good luck buying a house in the Bay Area. It's slightly better here, but I think in greater Los Angeles County, we're at something like 14%. 14% of the people can afford to buy a medium priced home in Los Angeles. That's ridiculously bad affordability.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, not only that, once you've bought a house, how long does it take you to commute to get to the house and back and forth from work, right?
Well, now we have telecommunicating, but that's another whole kettle of fish. But I do think that in the mid 80s, as hard as it seemed back then, it was a lot easier then than it is today to buy a house.
Right. Right. One thing that I loved about your bio was that you said you are a lifelong learner. So
from insatiable curiosity.
Yeah, but what have you learned in the last couple of years that's off the weirdo, wacky stuff? What's the cool thing that you've learned that people just don't know about you?
Oh, good Lord. In just the last couple of years?
Yeah. Look at that face, guys. I love this.
I've learned that SEO is not as hard and impossible as I thought it was.
Okay, cool. So talk to us about that. I mean, you're obviously then using it for your business in some way. What are some of the tricks and tips that you've learned in the last couple of years to actually accelerate your growth in your own business?
What I've learned is that actually farming SEO out is really hard. That I think SEO is best done when you truly understand your audience.
Yep.
You truly understand what your audience wants. And you know what? Some SEO wonk that's, suffering from light deprivation in some parent's basement, that dude, he doesn't understand my clients. So, this whole idea of let's just press the easy button, write a check for $29.95 and have somebody have leads raining down on my head is,
Yes.
you just know, no, you can't farm out quality. That's okay. Already starting with a soapbox and we're about 4 minutes in.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, okay. So what tools do you need to be successful in the SEO world? Because that's something that's unusual for a real estate person to actually use an SEO tool, a system of sort.
Well, I am not a normal real estate agent.
Yep.
I sell calls at selling. It's not something I really like doing.
Right.
I like problem solving. I like helping people. I mean, that I think every realtor listening to this is going to say, I like that too.
Right.
I'm not particularly good at it. I'm going to say something that's going to piss somebody off somewhere within that 30-day period. I mean, it's just going to happen. And a real person would never do that, right? What I'm really good at is details. I love details. Yeah. So when you say what tool can you with SEO, it's Yoast. I blog. My website is on WordPress.
Yep.
I use the Yoast Premium SEO plugin.
Yep.
I call it my video game.
Yeah.
Right. It's a video game. I just I'm gonna get that thing to green. I gotta be green. Yeah. I will sit here and screw with this post until everything's green.
I love it.
It's a video game. Between that and Neil Patel's SEO Uber Suggest, those are two free tools. Well, premium's not free, but practically is. It's like what, $130? I know it's really cheap.
It's not expensive, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Between those two, it's that. But I definitely feel about what I'm doing with SEO. To me, it is like playing a video game and trying to get to the top of the leaderboard. Before, it was just drudgery.
Yeah.
All this crap, and I don't even know if it's going to work. Right.
Right. So is one of your strategies like think of all the questions that your clients have ever asked you and then create blog posts, long tail kind of blog posts with information and info, and then kind of blog about that?
Counselor, you're leading the witness.
Leading the witness. Yeah. Guilty as charged.
that stuff that you just said, man, you just lost about half your audience. You know what the hell you're talking about. And I've been doing that since 2007, but that's what everybody says. Your basic guru from your basics stage says, take a look at your email and see what questions you answer over and over and over again. And if you have it more than once, write a blog post about it and then do a video and put them together in an FAQ. And that is going to win the internet and you're going to have leads raining down from the sky. Bullshit. Sorry.
Okay. So what is the trick? What is the trick?
Consistent. You have to be super consistent. It's a long game. And it is not a write a blog post, have it go viral, and have leads rain down from the sky. You sensing a theme here, guys? Nothing is that easy, right?
Hard work, right?
It's all hard work over a long period of time. So being super consistent, having a strategy.
Yes.
So that's something that I've learned very recently. It used to be I got a bug up my butt about something, and I would write a blog post either in rebellion or piss offness to educate the consumers about how the wool's been pulled over their head about something. Yeah. Like the idea that the most number of signs in the yard is automatically the best real estate agent for you. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe not. So I might write a blog post about that. And then, but I would write from the gut. And sometimes I had nothing in my gut and I'd write anyway, because somebody said you're supposed to do it every week.
Right.
Right. So distilling it down to a consistent, sustainable strategy.
Sure.
And also having a really good idea of what your voice is, not in terms of whether you're funny or formal or the Queen's English or you rap. I don't mean that kind of a voice. I mean, okay, well, I tried rap. It's not a good look on me. Seriously.
I'd like you to rap right now, actually.
No. What I mean by more is, do you want to be hyper-local and write about all of the landmarks in your area because you're a local ambassador for your city or town or hamlet? Yeah. Or do you want to be, consumer empowerment, which is, a lot of what I was writing, Or do you just want to write about your listings? Which
Yep.
if anybody writes anything, I'd say that's probably the majority of real estate agents. I got to tell you, it's kind of boring, but that's beside the point. What is your voice, and then stick to it.
Got it.
It took me a long time to figure out.
Makes sense. Makes sense. What are some of like your favorite and most impactful things that you do for your listing clients? Like generating the listing and then serving them. What are the things that make you unique in your marketplace that you believe set you apart from your competition?
There's two things. I'll give you two categories rather than granular stuff.
Sure.
One category of stuff that I do is I anticipate where their stress, their fear, their feelings of chaos are going to come from. And I handle it before they feel the fear, stress, and chaos.
Got it.
For example, right after they accept an offer on their listing, I send them an email. Yep. And it says, congratulations, the process is just starting. By the way, I just want to let you know, you're going to go into the office and tell people that you got an offer, and everybody is going to tell you how their cousin sold their house for way more money. And I just need you to know that they're lying. Right. And it's just that kind of prediction of what's going to happen and how they're going to feel about it. Prediction equals trust.
Got it.
Right. So that's one category of things. And then the other thing is to always anticipate what they're thinking and what they're feeling. So there are milestones along the way. And when I say milestones, I don't necessarily mean the removal of all contingencies, but let's talk about the milestone of their house is finally ready to have the professional photographer come over and take pictures.
Right.
That is a huge freaking emotional moment that should be memorialized. That you should recognize that, and you should label how they're feeling. And when you do that, you create trust.
That's interesting. So are you having a call with them, or are you just meeting them face to face, and like, what are you doing to memorialize that moment together?
It's still evolving. But what I was doing as late as a couple of weeks ago was, it was a phone call. It's like, hey, you might be feeling like this. Yeah, you might be feeling a sense of, stress, that it's like you've done everything that you can do. Now we're going to take the pictures, and that is what's going to be broadcast to the world. And that might feel a little bit, you might be a little bit nauseous. That kind of thing.
Do you literally say, are you feeling nauseous? Because
because they are.
They are.
I don't know, Daniel, have you ever sold a house?
Yeah, I'm a real estate broker. Yep. We're a real estate virtual assistant company. We've served over 5,000 clients, just like you, Kendyl. In fact, I hope one day you decide to hire us. And I love real estate. In fact, I still stop at every single open house in my neighborhood. I still look at MLS every single day. I can't help myself. I'm just a nut when it comes to real estate.
So if you're at some point you're an active real estate broker,
yep.
Have you ever had a client who was misbehaving right up to the point where the photographer showed up?
Oh yeah. Or not doing half the stuff that you've suggested that they do, or doing a half-assed job, or simply blocking the progress. I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Maybe not even being ready on the day that pictures are being taken.
Yep.
Because it's an incredibly emotionally unsettling thing to do. The photographer is their tacit acknowledgement that they're going to let the public see their most private and sacred space, like their bathroom.
Right.
Hello, bathroom is kind of a personal place. And now we're going to take a picture of your bathroom and we're going to put it out on the internet so everybody can see it.
Right.
It's uncomfortable. And we as real estate agents, we should buy and sell houses for ourselves at least every 10 years to remember just how unsettling this entire process is.
That's such an interesting concept. So I was talking to Joey Coleman, and he wrote a book called Never Lose a Customer Again. And he talks about
that book, live by it.
Yeah. And so one of the things that he said is, when you close on a transaction, the work just starts. Like, most of us are chasing the commission, and then we're doing, once the deal is closed, we're just out, we're done with the transaction. But your perspective reminded me of his, that he's like, no. Once the deal closes, that's when you earn their trust and you earn all of their future business. And most of us just...
I'm going to actually take you back, because I read Joey Coleman's book probably 2 or 3 times, trying to unpack the things that he was talking about.
Yeah.
I would say that we really need, well, we should start this before, just as Joey says, when they're aware of who we are.
Right.
A huge part of it starts once they sign the contract, either the purchase contract or the listing contract.
Right.
That's where you need to start pouring it on and really memorializing and giving them the confidence they made the right decision.
Right. Because they're actually feeling that emotional up and down that maybe they screwed up. Maybe they committed to the wrong person. Maybe you aren't the right person to get them the most money in the shortest time frame. And that kind of, that's cool. Okay. So you're a tech person, and you blend that in, and we talked a little bit about that. So tell me a little bit about where you see the future of this. I mean, there's a lot going on in our world. Tech companies want to be real estate brokers. Real estate brokers want to be tech companies. Us agents are in the middle going, I just want to talk to clients. And I'm just curious what your perspective is.
That was a very large question, Daniel. It sounds like you were asking me, what does the future hold for the real estate industry?
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, great. Okay, fine. Well, let me get my 8-ball out. So, all right. Let me see if I can unpack your question step by step. Our industry is changing. Our industry is changing because the consumer is changing. The consumer is changing because technology has shown them that there are different tools and ways of thinking about things, ways of forming their decisions that they weren't aware of before. So it starts all the way back from Amazon and their first reviews, right? We all know about the review culture, so we don't need to cross that bridge. But it's getting even more so with, iBuyers. And I could just keep going on and on and on. We're all friends here, so we know the types of things that we're touching on.
Right.
So in my opinion, this is going to polarize our industry. So it's going to polarize our industry into people who service transactional real estate, and there's plenty of that. And I would even say that iBuyers et al. May increase the number of people who are doing real estate transactionally. What do I mean by transactional? I mean real estate being bought and sold simply as a function of bricks and mortar, purchase price, close escrow. What are the terms that we do it, period. Okay. However, residential real estate, for the majority, I think will always be less a transaction and more a function of people in motion. People are transitioning from one part of their lives to another part of their lives. It will never, ever be as a general, mass thing. It's never going to be, I sells a house, I buys a house. At some level, there is personality, there is history, there is emotion, there is soul involved in a residential transaction.
Yeah.
Not in a motel, not in a warehouse, in a residential. This is where my house is, where my children were raised. This is where I'm going to grow old. Yeah.
Right.
So with that in mind, we're going to see this huge bifurcation. There's going to be the transactionally focused industry. And by the way, I think most big box brokerages are going to service transactions.
Yep.
My opinion. Okay. And then there is going to be the part of the industry that still honors and serves people in transition. So this is going to be individual real estate agents who might with a big box broker, although I think that's going to get less and less. Yeah.
Yep.
Or it's going to be small boutiques like my own. And am I saying that I'm the bomb diggity? Yeah, I am. Okay. But you interviewed me, so that's on your head. So, but so it's going to be those two things. And the agents, the real estate agents and small brokerages, the ones who are going to be focused on what the consumer needs to transition from point A to point B in their lives. The house is just a portion of that transition.
Right. I get it. What's your talk to us about your team? Like, how do you run your real estate business, and what value could you add to our audience today about like what you've learned over your 30 plus years watching your mom be in this business? I mean, like there's a lot of history there. How do you run your team, and how do you manage your business right now?
I run my team like my personal fiefdom, as is my right.
Okay. Tell me more.
It's not, so I have a brokerage.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a few agents who started with me brand new
Yep.
and have earned the right to be independent agents that
Yep.
are under the Diggs brokerage. And then I have a few agents who are still learning the ropes enough to where I think they can be independent agents. The difference for Diggs, I am not hiring agents and hoping they'll sell a house so that I can get a portion of their commission so I can pay my bills.
Right.
I am hiring people who will fulfill my vision for my brand. My
Got it.
brand is a Diggs. I want Diggs to have a personal relationship with the community around us. It's very difficult for a brand to create a trust relationship with human beings.
Right.
Human being, fine, but a brand creating a trust. In order for a brand to create a trust relationship, everything about the brand has to be a certain quality.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the brand stands for nothing, which is why the big box real estate brokerages have a problem with the brand, which is why they're all like, oh, no, 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 no. You don't have to use our big box logo or branding. We understand that you want to brand yourself, little agent, even though you have no idea what a brand is. You think it's a logo in a certain color.
Okay, so talk to me about where you think the consumers are going, because you said it's changing a bit. Where's the puck going to be in the future, and how do you stay relevant in that future, in your opinion?
So each individual is going to make the decision. Do they want to sell their house, buy their house transactionally, in which case they'll just make an offer with the first real estate agent that they see at an open house, or they'll list with the agent who gives them the lowest commission, right? We're not even going to talk about those people. Yeah.
Right.
For those who still want someone to help them transition from one part of their lives to another and find value in that.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm still forming this idea, and I was talking about it with my coach the other day. I feel very strongly that by the time somebody reaches out to a real estate agent, they've already decided who they want to use. And they might interview 2 or 3, but they know which one of those 2 or 3 they think they trust the most.
Right.
So the real question is, how do you earn that trust before they make the phone calls for the interview? Yeah?
Sure.
Right. Okay. So in my opinion, the first layer is as it's always been. It's going to be people that you know in your life, people in the Kiwanis Club, the other parents in your kids' soccer team,
right?
The people that are on the block, all of
your
that.
Community, basically your community. Yep.
Exactly. That first level is not going to change. You still need to do it, which means, sorry guys, peopling is still going to happen.
Right.
Okay. But once they know you, like you, and trust you as a human being, they no longer automatically assume that they like you and trust you as a real estate professional. So what you need to do in peopling is that you need to basically earn their like and trust as a human being, and they have to know that you're a real estate agent of some success. Right. Don't be that guy at the cocktail party who's bragging about how you're number one. Nobody cares. But they do need to know that you are active and not one of the vast majority who sold 0 houses this year so far. Yeah?
Right.
So know that. But once they know that and they have a real estate need, either for themselves or somebody they can refer you to, right? They're going to look you up online.
So talk to me about how you build that trust or that notoriety up front before. Like what are your tricks or tips around that, so that somebody can understand? I mean, because that's good stuff right there.
This is what I spend all of my time working with my agents on. It's really hard. So what I'm going to say in the however few minutes we have left, it's not going to be that useful. Sorry guys, this is something you have to work at. It's not easy. Simple, but not easy.
Right.
So the way you do it is you have to, in order to sell more houses, you have to talk to more people. This is an unassailable truth. Don't even try getting around it. Right? Okay.
Well, because hold on, we're a belly to belly sport. This is belly to belly. Like, people only like and trust people that they know, and you can only know somebody by talking to them. It doesn't work if you send a drip campaign, or you send them a Starbucks card, or you knock on their door. That just does not work. It's a belly to belly sport. You've got to play the game.
Take stupid marketing idea spouted from stage by guru of the day and toss it over your shoulder.
Yep.
If you can spend $29.95 for it per month and you don't have to do anything, it's not worth anything. It's my opinion. So you have to be in people's lives. You have to be in their flow. So you need to call people and do the dreaded chitty chatty, which is something I hate doing, but I do it because that's what you do.
Yep.
You have to be present in the community, in nonprofit and charitable work, in your kids' schools. You have to, actually take your eyes off your stupid screen and look somebody in the eye and say, wait for it. Okay, I'm going to give you the secret. Ready? Yeah. This is a script that has been worked on for decades, and it has made me so much money. I can't even tell you. Do you want to hear the secret?
Yeah, we're going to end with this. This is going to be awesome.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Take your eyes off your screen, look somebody in the eyes and say, hi, how's it going?
Just hi, how's it going?
Yeah, that was worth the price of admission right there, people. That is my secret. I don't tell anybody else, okay? Secret. Don't tell anybody.
I get it. Got it. Well, Kendyl Young, you're a little crazy and a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed this, guys. If you're looking to hire virtual assistants, drop on our website. It's called MyOutDesk.com. Kendyl, what's the one thing you'd leave our audience with today?
Make sure that you have a great database and record those wonderful little bits of conversation that you have with people randomly so that you can find ways to be valuable to them later on.
Bam. Thanks for your time today. You've been awesome. It's amazing to meet you and hang out with you today.
Love it.